Away from the Middle East to the other crisis in Europe, it's exactly a month since Ukraine launched the surprise incursion into Russia's Kursk region. Kyiv's top military commander, Alexander Zelenskiy, still defends the offensive, saying it was working because Russia had not advanced on a key area of the Eastern Front in Ukraine for 6 days. Kyiv's forces, which launched its invasion into Kursk on August 6, says it has captured an estimated 1,300 square kilometers of the territory and dozens of settlements. Officials have said the offensive was part of a strategy to slow Russia's advance towards the strategically important town of Pokrovsk in Donetsk in eastern Ukraine. It was not possible to verify the situation on the front line and the claims made by each side. Now let's hear from Russia, which says its forces have taken control of 6 villages in Ukraine over the period between August 31 and September 6. According to Russia's defense ministry's spokesperson, the 6 villages were liberated in Ukraine's eastern Donetsk region. It adds that formations of 5 mechanized infantry ranger airborne assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a National Guard brigade, and a Territorial Defense brigade were defeated. The ministry also noted that 53 counterattacks of units of the Armed Forces of Ukraine were also repelled. In the meantime, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is in Germany attending the Ramstein meeting. Mr. Zelensky is pushing for more weapons from Western allies and seeking approval to allow Kyiv to carry out long-range strikes into Russia. This visit marks the first time the Ukrainian president joined the gathering of defense ministers at the U.S. airbase in Ramstein in Western Germany.
Now we hear that your long-range policy has not changed, but we see changes in the attack on Storm Shadow and Scouts, a shortage of missiles and cooperation, and this applies even to our territory, which is occupied by Russia, including Crimea. We think it is wrong that there are such steps. We need to have this long-range capability not only on the occupied territory of Ukraine, but also on the Russian territory. Yes, so that Russia is motivated to seek peace. Next, I'm grateful to all partners for the fact that the NATO summit in Washington was marked by decisive on air defense systems for Ukraine, and I will not speak openly now about the number of systems we have received. Thank you so much again. But the number of air defense systems that have not yet been delivered is significant. This is what was agreed upon, and this is what has not been fully implemented. The world has enough air defense systems to ensure that Russian terror does not have results. And I urge you to be more active in this work with us on air defense. And we have already started operating F-16s. Thank you for this support, Secretary, and to you partners. And they strike down missiles and drones. They are very efficient, but they are few, you know about it. And we need much stronger fleet of F-16s.
And staying with the meeting, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin announced Washington's pledge of an additional $250 million in weapon support for Ukraine. The announcement comes at a high-risk moment for Ukrainian forces who are advancing into Russia's Kursk region, even as Russian forces are threatening the eastern Ukrainian city of Pokrovsk.
Mr. President, this coalition of some 50 nations of goodwill stands united and firm, and today we'll push even harder to step up our support for Ukraine. We're meeting at a dynamic moment. Ukraine continues to seize the initiative on the battlefield. Ukraine's troops are now conducting an operation in Russia's Kursk region, but we know that Putin's malice runs deep. Moscow continues its offensive in the east of Ukraine, especially around Pokrovsk. Putin is repositioning his troops in Kursk. And the Kremlin continues to bombard Ukraine's cities and to target Ukraine's civilians. And friends, this is a critical moment. Time is of the essence, especially with winter on its way. We must all step up our support, and quickly. So I'm pleased to say that President Biden will announce today an additional $250 million security assistance package for Ukraine. It will surge more capabilities to meet Ukraine's evolving requirements and will deliver them at the speed of war.
Meanwhile, NATO's Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg has called on China to stop supporting Russia's war in Ukraine. He made this known at a press conference in Norway alongside Norwegian Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Støre. The NATO's chief indicated Beijing's assistance has been a significant factor in the continuation of the war. However, China has previously described similar statements made by NATO as malicious and biased.
The war demonstrates that our security is not regional, it is global. Iran and North Korea are providing drones, ammunition and more, and China has become a decisive enabler of Russia's war against Ukraine. Through its non-limits partnership and support for Russia's defence industrial base. This includes the transfer of dual-use materials such as weapons, components, equipment and raw materials. I call on China to stop supporting Russia's illegal war. China cannot continue to fuel the largest military conflict in Europe without this impacting Beijing's interests and reputation. But Ukraine needs more military support now. The quickest way to end this war is to provide weapons to Ukraine. President Putin must realize that he cannot win on the battlefield, but must accept a just and lasting peace where Ukraine prevails as a sovereign and independent nation. I call on all allies to continue their vital support, especially in this difficult phase of the war.